Hello, this is Verve, and in this video I'm going to be doing a live demonstration of me soloing the Takumi Grand Hero battle with Mia and going in depth about the process I went through to complete this run and the AI manipulation involved. I haven't recorded a video using a live feed from my phone before. I've only streamed, so if it gets a little laggy or choppy at times, I do apologize in advance. I've also only got a one monitor setup at the moment, and my script isn't printed out. As such, I have a lot of windows open on my screen that I have to juggle between, so hopefully I won't get too jumbled up, but I also apologize for that in advance. And I will be using the blackboard for this run when necessary. So first thing I want to note here is that Mia is in the last slot on my team because there is a damage tie that occurs once and I want Mia to be targeted, so I need to give her slot priority, so that's why she's in the last slot. And let's just get into the run here. So we don't have these two side columns pretty much. These side columns to work with, so basically we got a super narrow map, and first thing we want to do is identify the possible choke points. Since we know that the AI moves immediately on turn 1, regardless of us, getting into their aggro range, we can't make it very far until they start like swarming us. So really there's only two viable choke points, or like two that stand out, I should say. So it would be the right and left sides of the wall. So these two sides of the wall stand out as the primary possible choke points on this map. And once we get to turn 2, it becomes pretty apparent that we will want to use the right side, because on the following turn a blue mage spawns here and he threatens quite a bit of space. And theoretically you could have a unit here with DC that stands here, and then the blue mage suicides, and then the red sword suicides, and then try to go from there. But first of all, it's really seems really messy, and also I don't have DC on Mia, so that wasn't a consideration for me. And also the extra units that you needed would have been even more stringent than they were for this run. But anyway, since we know the enemy moves on turn 1, we already have to consider our formation on the first turn. And it's just these two cavaliers that move, but it's pretty important that we make them move correctly on the first turn. So since we plan on choke pointing the right side, we need to make sure this blue cav goes straight to the right. Gotta make sure he goes straight to the right, because if he moves up here, the run ends. It's mainly because of these trenches here. He can't move through here. So if he ends up moving up to this square, he's only going to just keep on going up, and then that just ends the run. He'll encounter my other units before he encounters Mia. So again, want to make him move to the right, and then we want the bow cav to move up. It's actually technically not a big deal if he moves here on this turn, but because he can still move this way, but it's for the better that he just moves up immediately. Alright, so the only way to make the blue cav go right is to have its target. Well, I could stand here, but that ends up causing me to take too much damage. So I can't have Mia, if Mia was being targeted, and like the target for this cav, like if I theoretically stood here, I would take too much damage as Mia. But if I stood here, I could make him move right, by default he's not going to go here. My other option is to stand on this spot, have the target stand on this spot, and threaten this square, and then he will choose this one because it's safer. So you might think that this spot works as well because it's equal distance and this path is available thereby. You might think that, but I have found that apparently, since this is a square that only flyers can reach, their movement seems to work as though they're targeting this spot. I'm not sure exactly why. I have to do more research on that, but he doesn't exactly try to go to this square, because otherwise, even if I threaten this spot, he will move here. Or sorry, he will still move here. So it's not working as if it was just a regular tile, and it seems like he is trying to move from this side for whatever reason, and I cannot seem to make him move right if his target is the flyer standing here. Again, we'll need more research, but I cannot use this square. So basically I can only stand here or here. One or two. And then, as I said, the spot 2, I can only do that with Mia, because I mean, if I use another unit, then that wouldn't be a solo. And if I use Mia, she takes too much damage over the course. So my only option is to have the target on that spot. Alright, so if we examine our units, I have their stats on the left here for easy reference. Against melee units, my whole team pretty much has like the same ballpark of defense. Joshua has 31, but he has close defense, so he has 37 defense. Sita has 31, also has close defense from her seal, so she has 37. Mia has 32, and steady breath, so she has 36 against melee. Well, actually, no, it doesn't matter if they're melee or not for Mia. And then Sophia, she has only 32. She actually has ally support with Joshua. She has A support. Doesn't matter if she's A or S in this run. But she gets 2 from support, which is 34. But more importantly, she has only 19 speed. This Cav has 27 speed, so it's going to double Sophia. She is clearly going to be the target of choice among our units. And if we kind of look at his the distance my units have from if we look at the distance, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically all of this is in the 3 turn range, and Sophia takes like way too much damage for any kind of like tiebreakers to occur, just as a result of her being doubled. Oops, I didn't want that swap. We already swapped these two. Okay, so I'm gonna move them into position here. Sophia is going to stand here. She is the target. And then Joshua is going to move here. Because as I said, I want to threaten this spot so that he moves right. So I use Joshua, he threatens this spot. And the reason I can't use Sita here is because she's the target for this bow due to her weakness to bows. And if I moved her, or if I had her here, the archer would move to the left because Sophia is threatening this spot. And I don't want that to happen. I want it to just move up. So I have to use Joshua to threaten this cavalier, and then Sita, she's kind of flexible as to where she can stand. she can be here, here, or I could have started her in a position that could reach this corner. Doesn't matter. I just kept her here. And then Mia needs to stand exactly here so that on the following turn she can move down here and then be at the choke point on time. So that's pretty much it for this turn. So that happens. So moving on to turn 2, we get 2 new enemies. First is the blue mage on the right. And luckily, he is stuck on the side. So he's not much of a threat. I'll just go ahead and attack him, and he normally has pass and would be a slight nuisance, but after attacking him, he doesn't have enough HP to use pass, and he's stuck here, and remains a non-factor. So even though he is what he forces me to choke point the right side, he himself is not actually very annoying. And even though I can't kill him in one round, doesn't matter. He doesn't do anything. So the bigger issue is this sword on the left here. So the one issue he brings is that he has Armor Smasher, and that makes it so we pretty much can't bring any armor units as extras unless our solo unit is also an armor, because he'll just do way too much damage to armors. I mean, especially if I'm doing all red. You could argue that if I was using a blue armor, he might not do enough damage, but as far as red armors are concerned, he would do too much damage and almost certainly target the armor, and that would end the run. So what I do here is I move Sophia back here, I move Sita here, I rally Sophia, and then I move Joshua back here. And I need to rally Sophia here so that she has 32 plus 3 from rally and plus 2 from ally support with Joshua, so that she has 37 defense, which is one more than Mia's 36. And then again, Joshua and Sita also both have 37 defense. Actually, Joshua has 39 against this sword because of ally support. So both of these are not being targeted. And so he will be targeting Mia here, and he moves down and to the right, or to the right and down, to avoid their attack ranges, of course. So he's not going to move. He's not going to move to the right or up. He's obviously going to move over here if he's targeting Mia. So that's it for this turn. Alright, so turn 3 is extremely critical, even though I only make one relevant move. The irrelevant move I do is Mia finishes off this blue mage, because there's nothing else to do. I want to stand still. And also, if I did move, then the blue mage could move out and start attacking, so that wouldn't be good. I just finished off the blue mage. Pretty simple there. And then the relevant move here is moving Sita in front of the wall here. So if I actually didn't move her here and I stayed here, both of these Takumis, which are targeting her, they both move up and to the right, and this creates a domino effect on the following turn that causes my run to end. And I'll explain exactly what happens on the following turn when we get there, but for now I'm just going to say that putting Sita here is really important. cannot rally Sophia on this turn because the double Scotty will panic her and it will end up dropping her defense and then make her super targetable by the sword. But I don't need to rally her on this turn anyway because she is sitting at 32 defense plus 2 from ally support, and she has 34 defense to Mia's 36. But on this turn, the sword is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles away from Sophia, and 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles away from Mia. And if you've watched my video on movement targeting, we know that since Sophia only takes 4 more damage, since she's doubled and has 2 less defense, she only takes 4 more damage, but is 1 more turn away. Mia is targeted instead. So if you haven't seen my video on movement targeting, what's going on is basically for every turn it takes to move to the target, the AI needs to do 5 and exactly 5 more damage to have equal priority. So if Mia had 1 more defense, like from 1 more merge, for example, Sophia would be targeted because now the difference, their damage difference would be 6. And even though she's 1 turn further away, she takes 6 more damage, which is more than 5, and then becomes a better target for the sword. But if Mia did have 1 more defense, my Sophia is currently using a level 1, what is that called? What are these seals called again? Squad Ace, I think. Yeah, she's using the Squad Ace that gives defense, and it's only level 1 right now, so I could upgrade that. So I did have a bit of elbow room, but still kind of close. And something to note as well is that I need all of my units here to have more resistance than Mia, because this healer on the left can actually move left and up here on the following turn if any of these guys were targets. And that does end my run, I believe. I think maybe it was on another route that it ended my run, but I still don't want this healer to move up and left. Still not a good look. Anyway, that's all for this turn. Excuse me. So turn 4 is an equally pivotal turn, as we now reach the final wave of reinforcements. And let's start by talking about this ninja. I only have two spaces that are out of range of the ninja, so that's here and here. And I'm forced to have a unit that is in the attack range of the ninja. So the unit that is in range of the ninja has to be able to 1 round KO him in order to dissuade him from attacking. The reason I have to 1 round KO him instead of just being able to counterattack is because while he would ideally be able to attack Mia, alright, like he's in range of attacking Mia, but he cannot because the sword's in the way and blocking that spot. So the Bocav would attack first. This guy would attack first because Mia cannot counter. And then say I had like Joshua standing here. Well, okay, no, let's say Sophia was standing where Joshua is, but she couldn't 1 round KO the dagger. The dagger is going to attack before this. Well, first thing I'm going to do is kill that Great Mage. So the sword could attack Mia, but he takes damage, doesn't die. And then the ninja would be able to attack Sophia, and then let's say for the sake of argument, the ninja does not die. The ninja's going to attack before the sword because they have priority. I believe it's because they have debuff, like they can apply debuffs from their smoke dagger, and they have priority over units that cannot debuff. So that's just my hypothesis. I haven't fully researched that yet, but I have noticed daggers and units with seal abilities on the B slot usually attacking before other units. But I haven't fully researched it yet. But regardless, I have tested it before. If I can't one round KO this ninja, it will attack before the sword attacks Mia. So back to the main point, I need the unit to threaten one round KO so that the sword has higher attack priority since he does not die in his encounter with Mia. And then after the sword moves and attacks Mia, the dagger unlocks the spot for the dagger to attack Mia, and then we'll no longer want to go this way and attack whatever units here. We'll go here for the counterless attack on Mia. And then, sorry, excuse me again. If we examine the dagger's stats again, the dagger has wind sweep, and that limits the options that I have greatly for the extra unit that like threatens the one round KO. And as far as red units are concerned, I would either need an extremely high speed, high defense, and high res physical DC unit, or I could use a red mage or dragon to avoid wind sweep altogether. But pretty much all innate DC red units have pretty poor res, so they're out of the question. And not to mention, none of them could have been armored, as I stated before. If I had a young Tiki, you might think that she could work, but I actually need a 2-ranged unit with at least 2 movement, or a melee cavalry to perform this role. So I actually wouldn't be able to use young Tiki if I had one. And then adult Tiki doesn't have enough defense. Anyway, the main point is that I pretty much have to use a mage here. And this mage has to be pretty specific, since it's got to do enough damage to threaten that one round KO, while also being tanky enough to not be targeted by other units. So if we look at the ninja stats, he's got a whopping 35 res. Makes it pretty much mandatory that I have to use a Raven Tome. The first time I tried to do this map with all red, I tried it with Henry, with Triangle Adept, and Quick Impulse charged Bonfire. But what ended up happening was Henry's resistance was too poor and resulted in targeting issue with this Cavalier here. I glossed over Sophia before when choosing between mages, but I thought her speed was going to be too low, but she actually ended up being pretty much exactly perfect. This is a plus attack minus speed Sophia, and the attack IV, plus attack IV, sorry, let me forego upgrading her Raven Tome. So right now, as you can see, she's got just a regular Raven Tome. And while her speed, despite the Bane, was like it's sitting at a meager 19 with Fury, it was just barely enough in the end, and her speed is important. She also has exactly 40 HP, which is precisely enough to still have Dagger Breaker active after getting hit by double Scotty. And with Dagger Breaker and Moonbow, she does exactly enough damage to kill the ninja if he were to attack. Now, if I didn't have the plus attack boon, I would have needed to upgrade her tome and sunk even more feathers. And if I had a different Bane, I don't think I could patch them up enough to make it work. If I had a neutral Sophia, that would have been fine. I just would have need to upgrade her tome. But moving on, this axe cav on the bottom left is the single-handed reason why I couldn't use an all blue team as my extra, which would have saved me lots of feathers and skill inheritance. And would have given me a lot more breathing room. But as I said before, if a flyer is standing on the top right corner here, if a flyer is standing here, like the blue cav earlier, it would move straight up, and same thing applies to this axe cav. He'll move straight up if his target is here, and none of these spaces will cause the axe cav to move towards the right. If he moves straight up, he just ends the run. And I can't stand here because anyone here will be attacked. This healer with Dazzling Staff, since nothing can counter him, he will have priority moving here and attacking whatever unit's in here over the sword attacking Mia. So basically I was forced into using an all red team to make sure this cav targets Mia and therefore does not go straight up. So on this turn I have to move, okay, I have to rally Sophia, move her here, and then move Joshua left. So the reason I need to use a mage on this turn, or in my lineup, is for this turn, which is so that she can threaten this spot like Joshua did on turn 1 by standing here. And if I was using Young Tiki, for example, she would not be able to threaten this spot, and then the axe would still move up here. So I need Sophia to be in this spot, and then I also need to rally her this turn because it gives her, first of all, just enough defense. So she has 32 plus 3 from rally, and then plus 1 from ally support, since they are 2 spaces away now. And then she has 36 defense, which is exactly tied with Mia, and this is the 1 slot tiebreaker that occurs and forces Mia to take the last slot. And I also rally speed on, I need rally def and speed to bring her speed up to 19 plus 3 from the rally and plus 1 from ally support for 23 speed, because this axe cav has 27 speed, and 23 speed is exactly enough to not get doubled by the axe cav. So as a result, Mia and Sophia are tied here for the axe cav. And then something to note as well is that when this turn ends, this sword will attack Mia, and then the dagger will attack Mia. And this dagger has, or this ninja has smoke dagger, and it will reduce Sita's defense to 24, and then it will be 30 defense with close defense. That's less than Mia now, and this cav would actually start targeting Sita, which is the reason I have to run Ruby Sword on her, if you were wondering about the Ruby Sword on her. So pretty much all of the weapons that I'm using on my extras are strictly mandatory to make all the aggro work out correctly. So now I'm going to talk about the domino effect that would have occurred if I hadn't split up the Takumis on the previous turn. So this red mage cav is targeting Sophia. She has 23 speed right now. She gets doubled by this 28 speed cav. So Mia's not being targeted, Sophia is being targeted, and his ideal move is to move up and left and break this wall, which we're going to see when we pass the turn. That's his ideal move. But if I didn't split up the Takumis, let's try out here. He would actually be right here, standing right here on the very spot that this cav wants to move. So this cav actually ends up moving here. This guy moves here. He breaks this box. Or, not box, wall. And yeah, this guy moves here. And this is important because if this cav cannot move in this spot and break this wall, nothing else is going to break the wall. This healer cannot move up and heal the sword. This healer actually moves here. And then on the following turn, because this healer is standing on this spot here, the axe cav that is currently here cannot move up. So then he decides to go here instead. And then that just ends the run. So there's just this huge domino effect that occurs, and it's a total mess. And if I do not split up the Takumis, then the run is pretty much over several turns later. Alright, so I think now we can move on to the next turn. Alright, so in the next turn, I want to return Sophia to this spot in the middle. And I needed to give Joshua rally speed and defense here because Sita cannot do it herself. Because Sita's going to be moving right here. So if I don't rally Sophia, again, she will not have enough speed and defense, and then this axe cav will begin targeting her. And then the axe cav will move here and then end my run. I also need the speed to make sure that this red cav targets Mia. So since now that Sophia is standing here and she is only one space away from Joshua, she is getting 2 speed from ally support now. And then she has 19 plus 3 from rally plus 2 from ally support for 24, which is exactly enough to not get doubled by the red cav here. So getting the rally on Sophia is super important, but I cannot do it with Sita this turn, so that's why Joshua has rally as well. And Sita stands here because Takumi is targeting her. And this one on the left, I gotta get him to shuffle back to the right side choke point. And again, as I stressed before, if Sita is standing on this top right corner here, the targeting / movement gets wonky. He wants to like go here, and then Takumi moves up and then ends the run. And right now Sita cannot be attacked because this sword is in the way. And thankfully the red sword survives one more turn. He survives with 1 HP. As we'll see here. So him surviving there, pretty crucial, so that he's still jamming up the space and Sita cannot be attacked. And then after this point, I can return Sita back up 1 space while everyone on the enemy team pretty much just ritualistically offer themselves up to Mia. And if in my video someone noticed that I had kept on rallying Sophia with Sita, but at this point I don't need to anymore. I think I was just nervous when recording and ended up doing it more than I needed to. But anyway, that wraps it up for all of the details on how I did this run. Some people were wondering how much stamina I spent on this, and it turns out it wasn't much at all, maybe 2 to 4 potions. doing the actual run, with half of my fails resulting from forgetting to do a specific move and needing a reset rather than just experimentation. This time around, I was able to mostly plan out exactly what I wanted the AI to do and knew what I needed to tweak on my units in order to achieve it. And if you want to learn how to do that yourself, I highly recommend my AI Mechanics series on my channel if you haven't already. It's already paid off for myself in stamina potions just from this GHB alone. So thanks for watching this video. Really means a lot that you take your time to see me ramble about AI. Take care, and I hope to see you around for the Arvis rerun.